let's talk about the books we read. Business books, because people always ask that, like, what books do you read? What should I read? And we both do Profit First, which is a book. Go buy it.
It's an excellent book.
But here's the thing about any book that we read.
You got to do it. You got to implement the strategies in the book, right? I always say, when I tell someone to get Profit First, if you have Audible, download it right now while we're here face to face. Download it, listen to it in the car. In the meantime, while you're listening to it and you just downloaded it, I need you to also order that book from Amazon or run down. I wish we had a local bookstore, but we really don't. It's so sad.
Not in Knoxville.
Or run to the bookstore and grab it and start reading it, because listening to it is great, but there's homework in the book that you have to implement to help your business.
Right, because people are like, well, what's your secret? How do you do it? How do you structure things? We do it that way, and I will say that I think when we first started doing it, because you told me about that book, when my husband and I first started doing it in our business, I thought he was going to have a little panic attack, because you got to do it.
Yep.
It's not easy. None of the books that you read out there, New York Times bestseller, yada, yada, whatever, it doesn't matter what book you read. You have to, it resonates with you. You have to implement it, because if you don't implement it, it's like reading every diet book in the world and then going,
Nothing worked for me.
yeah, I didn't actually do anything. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't.
Didn't eat in a deficit. I read 37 books, but they didn't work.
Exactly.
Actually, not how that works. There's no osmosis here.
No, there is. You actually have to implement it, and you gotta follow it kind of word for word to start with until you figure out your groove and what works for your business.
And my husband's a little more behind the scenes, but when I first heard about the book, it was in a Facebook group for women entrepreneurs, and it was during shutdown for COVID, and so we're all on the struggle bus, right? And someone recommended this book, and so I downloaded it on Audible, and we were going on a road trip. So I made my husband start listening to it with me in the car, because kids in the back seat, she's in her own world on the Switch. So I'm like, we're going to listen to this, and he was the one that was like, you have to order the book. We have to do what he said. Okay. No.
Well, it was, I mean, for us, didn't have any debt, so it was just implementing it into our daily lives.
And I think it's just realizing where things slips away, and you don't realize things are slipping away. Like, oh, I didn't realize, and then the little things start to all add up, right?
And then you're like, oh, did I just spend? How much do I spend on lotion a month?
Oh, and should I be trying to, I could get that for less. I should be trying to do that. Yeah.
And I think for, we priced Saucy Foxy. It was really simple, because I just followed the formula. I was just like, okay, this is what I need to know what my profit margin is. And we just reverse mathed it.
Yep.
And off we went.
And you watch a lot of people that when they first start the book and they realize, oh, I was making X mistake or Y. And it's like, well, it's not really a mistake, like a learning curve. But now we change and we adapt and we scoop forward, and it'll be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite part about it is when they said every 3 months you need to go away. You need to have a break every 3 months. You're going to wear yourself out. And we started doing it because we're wearing ourselves out. And now we really implement every 3 months. We go on a weekend away or 2 or 3 days. That allows us to plan for the next 3 months, and we're not worn out.
Because if you don't do that, you just get frustrated with where you're at and what you're doing at your job. And then that frustration is going to seep over to your customers and your guests and even to your employees. And you don't.
Well, and your household. Like because when you run a business, you're doing this 24/7. You never not think about it.
You don't ever get to actually walk away.
No. So whoever said be your own boss so you can just take off time, yeah, they lied.
A lot.
Wow.